And it actually means now that I'm trying to play with lists that I try not to put Marines in there, which is sad. And it actually culminated in what has become known as, amongst the SN community, as the nasty list. Do you know what the nasty list is?
I do not know what the nasty list is. Do tell.
Okay. Now, I'll caveat that the nasty list is nasty for me. So it's nasty for DC. It's not nasty, like if a competitive player like Manny or something looked at it, he would just laugh.
Oh, yeah, put your notepad down.
yeah, exactly. Everyone put your notepads down.
Self-depreciation about the start.
Yeah. So the nasty list is, it's word bearers, it's a battalion. Roughly in that battalion, I've got 3 soul burner decimators.
Okay.
I've got 3 venom crawlers. I've got a disco lord. I've got greater possessed. Basically, troops are just filled with, I think it's 4 units of cultists. Right. A Hellblade, because I absolutely love Hellblades. I think they're genius. I'm looking over my models now. A Master of Possession, Dark Apostle, and that's roughly it. But the premise is that it's this moving feast that just deals mortal wound output from the decimators. And you can get them so they're hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s, wounding on 2s is obviously a mortal wound, re-rolling 1s within that bubble. And then obviously you're powering up the venom crawlers, they're hitting on 3s, you can give them re-rolls, and suddenly and they got a great range as well. So suddenly you can push up, hold the mid-board, the venom crawlers, doesn't matter if they die or not, but they are just putting crazy amount of attacks out and damage. They can munch through aggressors if they're not transhuman, and generally, and the cultists just play the mission. But
yeah, for sure.
It's become quite a nasty list, and I've been playing against Marine players locally and on SN, and it's getting a bit feared by the Marine players now because they don't have an answer for it. Like Mr. Pardo is terrified. Have you seen his new Blood Angels army? It's all storm shields and all this. It's just nonsense, right? Yeah. It's Blood Angels nonsense. But it's his new pet favorite. But he's terrified to play the nasty list because of the mortal wound output. So that's my answer to this being my word bearers. A culmination of so many defeats has turned into this unholy grail of, well, just buy loads of decimators. And it seems to work.
Well, that's
a slight shame. Because it's not really a word bearer's army, if that makes sense.
No. With your older books, now, obviously with Chaos, you've said that you're kind of using the Decimators, which are like a really, really strong unit. And then with Chaos Knights, I've seen that they sometimes do really well. But in those lists, they have Moirax, which are another Forgeworld unit.
Is it pay to win?
And it's like
term. It's maybe a little bit like that.
Yeah, I think in the SN group chat they were talking about the Megara as well today, the Forgeworld, the big Admech Knight with the lightning cannon and the big snappy claw. Do you think?
Yes.
Do you think Forgeworld is written too far ahead for some armies, where they kind of those armies are now just relying on essentially new rules because the units are just far superior compared to anything else that's available in the Codex?
It's a weird one because I think. And I'm no expert on this. I think there's probably a disconnect between what 2 years or a year down the line GW will look like and what it is now. And that is that I think we're seeing more cohesion between Forgeworld and, the normal Games Workshop 40k. Yeah. Whereas before there was that disparity between the two. And I think Forgeworld was very much doing their own thing and making strong units, etc. That's probably transitioned within the Horus Heresy. I don't play that, so I'm not entirely sure.
For sure.
But as that grows, as in, we're seeing Krieg models come out now, we're seeing so on and so forth. And weirdly, Forgeworld has more and more stuff just going no longer for sale. I was looking at a Orc Speedwa for a potential 2022 kind of new project. And I was looking online to see what models were, and so much was just out of stock and just not coming back.
Yeah, Forgeworld's really bad at the minute.
Yeah, it's just I don't know if that's just, pandemic or
I imagine it is, but it's just like everyone's relying on if you're a power armor player, everyone's relying on Volkite Contemptors and they're just not available at all. We've got two with 1,000 Suns. Luckily we got in before before it all ended, but put my tinfoil hat on, I just think that if GW are looking at well, they've even said, I don't take my hat off, because they definitely even said that they're taking over the rules writing for Forgeworld in terms of 40k. So I think that
the past that basically that gap, that divide will get smaller, and we'll probably see less kind of reliance on good Forge World stuff. At the moment, I think there is a heavy reliance on Forge World for Chaos, for example, for me. I look over at my stuff here, and a lot of my stuff that has punch is all Forge World. But saying that, like, Decimators got cheaper in the last update.
Really?
They were 210. They were 210 points. And again, chat, correct me if I'm wrong. They were 210 points with Soul Burners, and now they're 180 points with Soul Burners. They went up in wounds. However, they now degrade. But what I've found is that the degrading isn't that bad, because I'm getting the +1 to hit anyway from the Disco Lord most of the time. And yeah, I just find them they're better. I find them better personally than they were before, and they're cheaper. So I was able to fit. Basically, my new nasty list, I've got 2 Hellblades now.
Yeah.
And I've recently just finished painting up the second one.
Forgeworld.
They're rubbish. They're rubbish. But anyone watching right now, again, put the pad down, stop writing, because you're not going to get anything useful out of me. I think Hellblades, for 135 points, are great. Because they get you engaged all... They're cheap. They get you engage all fronts. They don't degrade. They've only got 9 wounds. They're toughness 6. They got a 5-up invulnerable save, and they can do the cheeky things like people will not consider them, and then they'll leave a character lying out a little bit, and then you can snipe them. And they've got 8 shots. Was it strength 7, AP 1, damage 2? So and you can like target like min squads of Marines on an objective in a corner with both of them. I think they're great.
Yeah.
Now I did learn you can give them las cannons. I only learned that. But they're not in the box. So I don't understand. You can take las cannons.
Great
you don't
rules,
have any.
getting ripped off again.
But you can take las cannons with them. So now Pardo told me that it doesn't matter because las cannons wouldn't be as good. And I kind of listen to what he tells me, because he's like, I don't know, he's the father figure of SN. So if he's like, listen, don't worry about it. Las cannons are rubbish now. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Fair,
okay.
Fair. They're not bad. They're not bad. They're kind of like they're very swingy. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. Swingy, exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, my Hellblade Jonathan, as his name, has he's a strong name. He's done nothing for me ever. He can't hit a barn door. Most of my rolling and most of the way I play is usually like that anyway. But anyway, yes. So I agree with you. I think that there is a reliance on Forge World at the moment. I can't deny it, because I'm looking at my Forge World stuff, thinking, oh yeah, okay, he's got a point.
Yeah, as I said, like you talked about your Chaos list, and you were like, the Decimators are doing all the work, and then you kind of think Chaos Knights, they're using Moirax, Lightning Locks, and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. Custodies, like again, like as you mentioned, Decimators got cheaper. The Telemon got better and came down in points. And then Custodies armies are pretty much just entirely Forge World.
Yeah, Forge World, exactly.
They are an extreme, but then you look at like Chaos Space Marines, and like they're like kind of like using Volkite Contemptors, which are also Forge World, you know?
Yeah, or any Contemptor really, because they're just far superior than a Hellbrute would be.
Exactly.
And the drills, we have drills for our custom warband, Children of Neverborn. We've got again a Leviathan with them. And we did have, they're rubbish now, but we did have some C-beam cannons from the artillery, which again is Forge World, but I think they got rid of the C-beam, and it's now called it's something called some rubbish now, whatever it is. We don't use them, but again, more Forge World. It was just basically you plug in all the stuff that is good. Like I've got 2. I'm looking over here. I've got 2 Forge Fiends. I've used once. Nice. I've had them for ages. Because Forge Fiends are just rubbish.
They are rubbish.
They're just so on every level. They're just awful. So why would I bring them? Yeah. I tried to bring them for fun, and this is a part of it goes back again. It's all one big beautiful circle. The 2 wound fatigue, and the how Chaos Space Marine players and similar have been battling against kind of the disparity of the codexes. Yeah. Is that I would like to bring Forge Fiends to give people flavor for them to enjoy the content more, so they don't see the same list over and over again. Yeah. I bring the Forge Fiends,
but they get dunked on.
They get smashed and nothing happens. I bring Marines and they just get butchered in droves like cultists, and I'm just like, this doesn't look good.
Yeah.
People aren't enjoying this because basically what it means is a Chaos Space Marine player is sitting there painting, and occasionally you look up and go, oh yeah, DC's rolling crap again, okay. And then look up and go, oh, all the Marines are dead. Typical. And then they're just, it doesn't, cool. It doesn't give them nice feelings or their faction, which they're spending hours painting.
No.
No. So, it hurts.
Yeah.
It does hurt.